Hey guys, what's up? And today, back with another video. Today, we are going to be making a simple Unity game. So, for today, we're going to be making a walking simulator, as you guys can probably see there. So, to do this, today, I'm going to be using the editor version 22.3.0 F1. It's a long-term support edition. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the 3D URP. You can name it whatever you want. I'm just going to name it Walking Simulator for today. And then, let me just move my webcam. In the bottom right here, you're going to press Create Project. Then we're going to be waiting for that to create a project. So whilst the project is created, I'm gonna walk you guys through the steps which we're gonna be taking today to make your first very own walking simulator. So the first step will be setting up a scene. So we'll set up like a little floor, so a ground, and then we'll have a player, yeah. And there will already be a light setup, so we won't have to set up any lighting yet, but we can also deal with all of that later. So that is the first step. We will be setting up the scene, and then the second step is we will be taking scripts and applying them to a player object and a camera object, and then that will be the main scripts done for movement and stuff, and then we can carry on setting up the scene how we'd want to. So for example, if you wanted some trees, I'll teach you guys how to make trees, and you guys will have your very own first walking simulator. Also, all scripts used in this video will either be scripts of my own, or most likely from ChatGPT. So yeah, so I'll try and leave them down in the comments down below. But for this walking simulator, we're only going to have walking mechanics and looking around mechanics. Obviously, if you guys would like to, I can continue this series, or I can, I guess, add to the scripts and stuff. However, for now, it's just going to be a simple walking simulator. So guys, here we have our basic scene, and our basic editor loaded. So first of all, what I always try to remember to do is you double click on scenes, right click on sample scene, click on rename, then name it to something like level 1. Okay, so we have our first level set up here, so in the scene directory. Then what you want to do is, on this hierarchy over here, you want to click on, you want to do a right click. You want to highlight your mouse on the 3D object, go over to plane, and click on it, and then name it to floor or ground. Yeah, we'll name it to ground for today. If you guys ever need to know how to rename objects in the hierarchy, you right click and go to rename it whatever you want, and yeah, so now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting up the player object. So we right click, we highlight our mouse over 3D object, and then we go down to capsule. So you left click on that once. We're going to name this to player. Done. And then we're gonna right click again, and we're gonna go to create empty. We're gonna create an empty object. We're gonna name this to player controller. And then what you guys are going to want to do is you're going to grab the main camera, you're going to hold down the left click on it, you're going to drag it to on this. Then this is the parent object now of the main camera, and the main camera is the child of the player controller. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. And then we're going to do the exact same thing with the player onto the player controller, and then I like swapping them around, but either way it don't really matter. So what we're going to do now is just one thing you guys have to always remember to do, it's my fault. Yeah, don't copy any of these steps right now. But I completely forgot to move this to 0. There, that's a lot better. So now we can put the player and the main camera back over the player controller, okay? Under the player controller. So now what you want to do is you want to go over to position here. You're gonna so you have X, Y, and Z. So Z is this blue arrow. That's the Z value. Keep that at 0. The X is this red arrow. So left and right. Yeah, the blue arrow is forwards and backwards, and then the green arrow at the top is up and down. But for this, we're gonna put the Y to 0, the Z to 0, and the X to 0, and then we're gonna change the Y to not 11, 1. You want to change that to 1. Okay, so we have the Y position at 1. So now, if you guys want to, you right click on the project, you hover your mouse over create, you go to folder, if I can actually find it myself. Hold on. There you go, folder. I found it somehow. Don't know where it was. And then I'm gonna name this materials. So what you can do is double click on that. Obviously it's an empty folder at the minute. Oh yeah, to get back to this section you either click on that or click on that. Yeah, so you double click on that and then right click, create. We're gonna find materials somewhere, material. So this will just be a color. We can name this one, so for example, if you want it to be set outside, you can name it grass, okay? And what you're gonna do is you're gonna drag it onto there. Obviously at the moment it is white, but we're gonna fix that. So you click on that. So you have the inspector here. The base map, you want to change that to whatever color you want. So for example, if your grass was yellow for some reason, grass isn't yellow, but like, yeah, and then you can like, mess around with it and stuff here. I normally like having my grass about like this. And the final thing I'm going to be showing you guys before we actually create or import the scripts will be camera. So if you guys can see here on the game, if I press play, the little play icon, it might take a while depending on, so obviously we can't move in a minute, but that's because we haven't put in any scripts yet. So I will show you guys, but you guys can see the floor there, and you can see this grey to white to blue. So that is called the skybox. So obviously it's in the name, it's the sky. But if you guys wanted to change that to a solid colour, then we'll click on the main camera. If I can find it here. Yeah, look, environment. Background type, skybox. You want to click on that, left click on that, press solid colour, and then look, it will set it to whatever you want it as. I like normally having mine as white or black. Oh, grey's nice. Might have it as grey. I'm gonna have mine as grey today, but it depends on what you guys want, you know. But I'm I won't be teaching you how to, you know, like use a custom skybox, but you don't have to do that. You can just keep it as skybox. But if you click on that, then it will just like, it'll mess it up. It just either do this one or this one. I think that will like mess all the camera up and stuff. It will like make it weird. So I'm gonna go with solid color, personally. But you guys can pick whatever you want, and obviously, like I said, you can change all the colors, like blah blah blah. You know, you can have it. Oh, actually, I do like having it as red sometimes, but no, not today. I'm gonna go with grey today. So yeah, so guys, now that you have a small understanding of how the editor works, the Unity editor, we are going to get on to applying some scripts. So guys, I couldn't be bothered to code a script myself because, yeah, you know, I mean, it shouldn't take too long, but you know, so first of all, because I've got a script now, I'll just have to copy and paste it over, and I'll show you guys that, and then I'll leave that linked in the description. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click, we're going to hover over create, we're going to go to folder again, if I can find it. Keep on losing it. Folder, wherever it is, I don't know. If you guys can't find it ever, just press the F key. Then we're going to name this folder scripts. Left click. Then you're going to double click on that. Now, obviously you guys will be able to copy this code, but what you'll have to do still is create C# script. Simple walking and looking. Okay, so that is the name of the script. Just give Unity a second to register it. So yeah, now it's done. So I'm going to double click on that. Should open up a notepad file. I'm gonna full screen it. Now I'm gonna delete all of this. I know that sounds silly. I'm gonna copy that in. Okay. Then we're gonna click on file, save. I use Notepad. I know it's very strange. But my Visual Studio, like any version of Visual Studio I try and use, is severely broken for some reason. So yeah, we're gonna file, save, and then I'm gonna cross that off. I'm gonna click here somewhere, and then it should register it. Now, we're going to click on the player controller, then we're going to drag this script over to it, and then we should have, I believe, a working script for simply walking around and looking. Now, in a second, I will fix, obviously, the, I know the mouse isn't locked into the screen, and that is most likely pretty annoying, but we can, oh, right, okay, we're already encountering some bugs, but that's fine, that's okay, because I'm just going to get an updated script from ChatGPT. So I will be right back in a second. So guys, we have a updated version of the script now. So I'm going to just paste that in. And voila. This should work, but before we press the play button, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to click on the ground. We're going to click on layer. We're going to click add layer. Use a layer, any of these you can use, but I just use whatever one normally. I'm going to make a new layer called ground. Exactly like that. You spell it exactly like that. Okay, so now we've got to click on that quickly. Yeah, and then there. And then if we test this, we need a rigid body, but other than that, it should work now. Ground layer. Oh, ground. You need to change it to that as well. So yeah, on the player controller, so it will say nothing or something like that, or default, the ground layer. What you want to change that to is ground. Then you want to add a component, and you want to type in rigid body, not rigid body 2D. If you use a rigid body 2D, then it will not work. So you need a rigid body, just a rigid body, not a rigid body 2D, because a rigid body 2D is designed for 2D games. So now, hopefully, if we test it, it should work. Okay? And it works. Lovely. Now we're gonna solve. Obviously, I know. Like it is sort of. I press W, and then I let go of W, and then it sort of still walks a little bit. However, that shouldn't be too hard to change. Let me just have a look at all of the options. Ground raycast distance. Might do 0.1 for that. I don't know if that will change anything. Let me just try. Let me just try it out. Okay, that's better. That is a lot better. Okay. Right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna edit the script. So and then we can have the mouse cursor locked in. And then I will show you guys, if obviously there's not really a point to it, but if you guys would want to, you could probably get rid of the cursor being locked in and invisible. And then after that, we will be adding a crosshair, which will be fully customizable. So yeah. So guys, on each side of the screen, I have each version of the script. So this is the script of what we was just using, without the cursor being locked in and invisible. And this here is the script which I'm about to change the script to make it so the cursor is locked in and the cursor is invisible, sorry. So in the start function, over on the left earlier script, we have RB equals get component rigid body, and RB freeze rotation equals true. So obviously you guys can probably make sense of that, but it's basically saying you need to get the component rigid body. So obviously we've got the rigid body, and the rotation of the rigid body, RB for short, will be always froze. And over here we have the exact same thing, but we have 3 extra lines which are named hide and lock cursor. Yeah, so these 2 slashes, so literally I could put, so if I wanted to right now, I could literally put look, hello, how are you today? And this, because it's got the 2 slashes here, would not be affected. Like the script would not be affected by that, because of the sole fact of the 2 slashes. So they're basically almost like there for instructions. If you, so for example, if you come across the script after a couple of years or something and you're like, oh, this would probably be handy, but I don't know how to set it up. So yeah, so if you wanted to keep the cursor visible and you didn't want it locked in place, then what you'd do is you'd just get rid of these 2 lines, or these 3 lines even, and then like get rid of them, and then obviously it'd be unlocked. Don't save on that one, but we want to save on here. Well, actually no, I won't do it like that. I'll do it like that. So also, if you guys see that little message down there, obviously you shouldn't, but if you forget to add the rigid body like I did earlier, yeah, you can clear that by pressing the clear button. But if some of the errors don't clear, sometimes that means you have an error, you have something wrong with your script. But obviously I can't really tell you guys, obviously, because it's hard to explain. But anyways, when we hop into the game, press play. Okay, we now have an invisible cursor. Okay, so that is pretty cool. I think it looks a lot better. It certainly looks a lot better. But if you guys would like a crosshair, what you want to do, this is how I do it. Go down to UI, go to, sometimes you can do image or text message pro. I'll show you guys both ways. I'll start with the image way. So it creates a canvas, image, and event system. Now, this is what you see on your screen in the bottom left. If you want it to be in the middle-ish, just change it to my hair, sorry. 0, 0, that's in the middle. But that may be a bit too big for you. So if you want to change that, you can do, obviously you can do it here. So you can either do so for example, if you wanted it like that and then like that big, then obviously you could do that. Or you can do it like that and then like that, and that makes it even smaller. But yeah, either way you guys can change that. So that's obviously the image way, and I think that's an alright looking crosshair. But I'm going to delete that and I'll show you guys the other way. So what you want to do is you want to go down to UI again. You want to go to Text Mesh Pro. This little window should pop up. You want to click on Import TMP Essentials. Just give it a little while. It might take a while depending on how fast your computer is. And then click on Import TMP Examples and Extras. And that will import all different types of fonts. Well, not all different, but a lot more fonts than just one font. Which, you know, is always great to have. And then you can, once that's all done, you can cross that off. And here, obviously, you want to have it centered. It won't always center it though, which is one pain, but I will show you guys a workaround. But if you wanted just like a dot or something, like we had a second ago, also you can change the font here. Got a couple. You know, I'm gonna have mine as that circular dot, but obviously you guys can see that it's not centered. So what we're gonna do is on the scene, we're gonna zoom. We're gonna like. So you hold down the right click and then like you hold down S basically and it like zooms you outwards. Oh, whoa. Sorry, my PC proper lagged then. Now see this little X looking thing? That is the center of the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, let me just make this a bit of a smaller box. So and then I'm going to try and center it as well as possible. And then we have a pretty well centered thingy. Now that looks a bit stretched out for some reason. So I like to do it to like that normally. And that looks like a much more normal circle. Because that is stretched. That is a little bit stretched. Or maybe like that. Maybe like that. Yeah. 1.1 on the Y. So I'm going to keep my crosshair as that. But obviously you can change it to, you know, you can do a plus. You can do whatever you want. You can do that. You can do an O. Obviously I wouldn't recommend keeping it like that. But yeah. You know, you can do an X, or X's are good normally, but I like a dot myself. And you can change the colour of that, so you could change it to black, red, you know, anything you want. I like normally keeping it as that, or like that. That is normally what I keep it at about there, like greyish. And then we have a nice looking scene. Well, a nice east looking scene. Then cross that off. Now, what I like to do is I like to create an empty object, name it text, and images. Alright. I'll just put that under the player object there. And I want to grab all that and put it under there. You can do that and look, it's so tidy. And I just think it, like personally, wait, where did the text go? Guys, maybe don't do that. You know, don't do that. Yeah, I really don't know what I've done, but that's alright, But don't put it under the player object actually. So I'm gonna just redo all that quickly. No, I'm not. Image. I'll just do a little image. Boom, boom, 0.2. No. 0.1. 0.1. There, lovely. So, oh yeah, and you can change the colours here as well. There. Okay, so that looks fine. Now we've got a lovely looking crosshair and stuff. So what you're going to do is you're going to come back down here. So what we're going to be doing next is we're going to be basically making this like square of land look nice. So first of all, what we want to do is probably make it a bit bigger. So I'll set that to 10, but not the Y, because if you was to set that to, oh wait, normally with other 3D objects, it will like make it like super tall, and you don't want that. So you always want to try and keep the Y to 1, and then like everything else you can bump it up or whatever if you want. So like look, that's a lot longer now. That's yeah, that's longer. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna set the Z to 10. So now we already have a bigger surface area. I know it doesn't look much better, but you know, you can decorate and stuff. But I'm gonna show you guys how to make one of my special trees. I like putting people to the edge of the map there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, I'm going to do 3D object. I'm going to do, wait no, not a cube, sorry, my bad. 3D object. Cylinder. 0, 0. I want to set that to 1. Actually, yeah, put that there. These are my famous walk trees. Well, they're not very famous, but by the way, guys, if any of you know, I'm making a game, and it's called Walk. Basically, I know it sounds really, really cool, but you walk in a forest. You walk. I know, it's so cool. It's so cool. You walk. No, but anyways. So we're gonna pull this tree base. I'm gonna create an empty object tree. Okay. So now I'm just gonna put that under that as the child. So this is a child. We will do colours and stuff later on, or in a sec, I guess. So I'm just going to do one sphere there. So then set that as a child as well. Leaf. Lovely. Then we're going to go into the materials folder again. I'm just going to use that exact same colour for the leaves. You don't have to. I'm going to create another material. I'm going to call it, you can call it brown or something like that. Apply that to that. I know it's white, but again, we'll just do that. Okay. I think that looks pretty nice. Like the colour, I mean, not the tree. The tree looks very dead. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to duplicate loads of leaves. Well, quote unquote leaves. And you just want to keep on repeating this process over and over. You can like get tree models. There is an actual 3D object called tree. You look, where is it? Tree. But I'm not sure how you exactly work with it. Like I'm really terrible with it. So I just like sticking to making my own trees. And then I'm going to do that. There. We're just gonna repeat this process over and over and over and over, just with leaves. I know it seems pretty boring, but if you want to make a tree like this, you know, I don't care if you copy it, because like there is probably the exact same tree made by someone, like the exact same. I bet ya. But you know. Anyways, that's a bit too tall actually. Let me just shrink that down a little bit. There, that's probably better. Also, if you guys like some of the content or what I've been making in a minute, like all random stuff, like that video I made yesterday about coneheadbird news, I did like that. I actually really liked that. I thought that was a pretty good idea. And I think it wasn't edited too much, but I think it turned out all right still. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, although I didn't really edit it much. And then, voila, we've got one of these. Obviously, if you want to, you can make that bit shorter. I personally like having them about this height to like there-ish, that height-ish. Like, between that and that. Roughly, I'll do like that though. Because that's a pretty sweet spot. And then now we have a tree. Oh, and what you want to do for that is you're gonna. Oh, I'm gonna delete that tree from earlier. Yeah, delete. What you wanna do is you're gonna grab this and you wanna drag it to here, and now you have this thing called a prefab. So that, as you can see, the text of it turned blue. Yeah, look, root in prefab. So prefab asset. So you can grab a load of them and then, yeah, or just duplicate a load and then, look, like this. You know, you can make some of them different sizes. Like, look, you can do like 1.2 for that one or whatever, if you wanted to. I know it looks stretched, but like, yeah, and then you've got like a couple trees and stuff, you know. There, and then yeah, and then if you wanted to, we can make a hut if you guys want to. There is most likely a lot of better ways to do this. However, this is the way I'm doing it. So what we're gonna do here is first we're gonna do a little about that big, I'd say, and then I'll do it at about 4.2 and 3.8. Just make it all like equal-ish if you can, because it just looks better in the inspector. Name it to whatever you want, wall, something like that, and then I'm going to create an empty object. Hut. You can do that. You can duplicate one. You can use the rotation tool to rotate it. Just rotate it 90 degrees. Move that up. And then duplicate. Rotate to 90 degrees. Okay. It's a pretty boring process, but it's just something you have to do if you want to. Oh, the only thing is sometimes they can turn out like different sized and stuff. It don't really matter too much though. You can just like do that yourself. And then look, you sort of got like a little hut almost. Wait. Yes. And now we have, although yeah, it's not really a game. It sort of is. It sort of is a game. You have made your very own first game with me, coneheadbird _. I'm sorry I didn't really show you guys how to code or anything exactly, but I showed you guys the basics, the core needs of Unity, and well, I think that it turned out very well. But before we end this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can publish this game to a site such as itch.io. So what you're going to first want to do is you're going to click on the file button there, save. Then what you want to do is click on the file again. Oh, oops, file, yeah. So you click on file. Oops, sorry. And then you go to build settings. Then, you know, you can build it for whatever you want. Oh, really sorry guys. My throat is really sore today. Then we go to build and run. So you want to click on that. Obviously you've got whatever here. You've got all your things. I've got 3 of my, you know, like storage things. I've got a couple more. I've got an external 2 terabyte drive. You know, I've got, I think, another hard drive in the PC. So yeah, this is a SSD, obviously 1 terabyte. This is a 120 gig SSD. This is a, I think it's like a 1 or 2 terabyte hard drive, I believe. But obviously I like doing it on my SSD. So what I'm going to do here is, this is all the folders for this game. What you want to do is right click, new folder, then you want to name it whatever you want. I'm going to name it game here. Right, and then select folder, and then it will build all of the items into there. So I guess I'll be back when it's done its job. So whilst I'm waiting for the rest of this game to build to the folder what I created, I just want to thank you guys so much for, like, you know, all the support recently. Like, I know it doesn't seem like much, but like one of my videos, it got like 9 views, and it sounds really silly, but you know, it made me quite happy and just thankful that even like though it's only 8 views, it's something, you know what I mean? Like, there's some people out there with YouTube channels, they've probably been doing it for like years and stuff, and they get like 2 views a video. Like like the other day, a Hello Neighbor video what I posted, a Hello Neighbor 2 video what I posted. It got 358 views, I think. And I'm just so thankful that you guys, have subscribed and, came along with me on my journey so far. Of becoming a real YouTuber, I guess. So thank you. But with all that said, the game has just finished building, and it's just launched, and this is what it looks like. So here we have your first ever game which you've made, and this is what it plays like. Obviously that is stretched. So you've got some trees, you've got a hut, you can go inside of the hut, you got some cool stuff. And once again, like I said, I'll leave the link of the script in the description. I might just make it so you have to copy and paste it, or I might have a download link for it. But so yeah, these are the lovely trees what we made. Beautiful. You can sort of walk into them. My bad. But I think for your first ever game, it's a pretty good attempt. And that'll be the end of this video. And I guess I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Oh, by the way, guys, before the video ends, I forgot to tell you guys how to upload a game to itch.io. So first of all, you want to grab the folder. You want to right click on it, compress the zip file. Okay. So I'm doing that. It will take a while to compress. Look, sorry. I can't show you guys the whole of my main screen because I've got some games which I don't want to be revealed yet, but there's a couple obviously that we can see. Most of it is just walk stuff, but they're old versions of walk. But yeah, so we'll just wait for that to compress to a zip file, and then we'll upload it to itch. So guys, we have a zip file here for itch.io. However, it's not the game because it said it'd take half an hour, and I don't have half an hour. So I've just got a random zip file for now. And I guess I'll show you guys what to do. So first of all, you'll need a itch.io account for this. Okay, so look, we go onto here on obviously I've got my account. Alright. Yeah, I've got my itch.io account here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click that little drop down. I'm going to go to dashboard, scroll down to create new project. Click on that. Now I'm going to name it Walking Simulator. Okay. Test page. I'm just gonna name it that for now. Okay, just for now, guys. Then we're gonna go to the pricing. So you guys will have to configure payment methods if you want to receive money, such as I think it's PayPal and Stripe. But if you don't have that, then your games will have to be no payments. and then you upload the file here. So we'll go, wait, yeah, that's fine, there. So and then we're just uploading that for now. This is the test zip file, but obviously you guys will do it with a real, like the real game, but this is one of my other games right here. Genre, you can do that as whatever. I'm just gonna do action or something like that for now. Custom noun, test. Then you have your page for it, and then a simple little page, you know. Blah, blah, blah. Post. And if you need to edit that, you just click on the edit game there. And then this, oh yeah, that's a draft. So you want to always scroll down to the bottom and then click on public. And then obviously you can change all the comments section stuff here. Save. View page. Beautiful. And that is your first game uploaded and made. And congratulations, guys. Thank you if you watched the tutorial all the way through. Well, obviously if you're seeing this, then you most likely did. Thank you for watching it all the way through, and bye.